channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Melissa. I'm 23 years old and currently living in North Carolina with my husband who's in the military. We recently just had our first baby boy, and he's sitting right next to me, so if you hear any noises, that's him. But today's video is going to be a labor and delivery story, so if that's the type of video that you like, definitely keep watching. And if you're new, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel, be part of our YouTube community, and let's just go ahead and begin with today's video. Okay, so we're gonna start like 2 days before he was delivered, and that was September 21st. So I'm gonna go ahead and say September 19th. I lost my mucus plug, and I wasn't really sure at first what it was. I thought it was just, a regular discharge and stuff. So I texted my mom, I texted my cousin, and my cousin's like, oh, it's nothing. And then my mom's like, oh yeah, it's definitely your mucus plug, but don't worry about it because it could take a couple days before you actually go into labor. And then, a day went by, and then September 21st came up, and when I woke up that morning, I was in pain. It was like 8 o'clock, and I was having cramping, and like the cramps just wouldn't go away. So then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a bath and see if that helps anything at all. I texted my mom that morning telling her to, like, hey, I'm cramping. It's just regular cramps. I don't think it's anything, but just letting you know what's happening. So I took a bath. And by the time I went to take a bath, it was already like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So by the time I got out of the bath, my husband was going to be home in like an hour or two for lunch. So I just went on with my day, went to go let the dogs out to go potty, went outside with them, sat on the porch, enjoyed the weather. And then I was walking back inside. We walked, we, me and the dogs, walked right past the kitchen. And right when I walked past the kitchen, I felt wet. I was like, oh my goodness, did I just pee myself or what is happening? And like this whole time I kept telling everybody, like, I feel like I'm gonna go into labor early. Like, I feel like he's gonna be here early. He's gonna be here early. And everybody's like, oh, you're not. It's fine. Like, usually your first takes a while. Usually you're pretty late with your first. But I don't know. I just had a gut feeling that he was gonna be early. And well enough, he was early. But to continue with my story, so I was walking past the kitchen, and all of a sudden I felt wet. So then I was like, oh my goodness, did I just pee myself or what? So then I went to the bathroom just in case if I had pee, went pee, and it just kept coming out. And I was like, oh my goodness, am I in labor? Did my water just break? So then I was trying to call my mom, and I had just spoke to her like an hour before this all had happened. So I was like, oh, she has her phone. Well, my mom did not have her phone. She did not answer. I called her like 5 times. I called my dad because my dad is pretty much always with my mom. He didn't answer. I called my cousin. She didn't answer. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys. I don't know what's happening. I think my water just broke. My husband is still at work, and I don't want to call him to freak him out because that's what Rod does. He freaks out. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go and continue doing things. I haven't even finished packing yet, so I was continued on with packing slowly and taking care of the dogs, cleaning up the house a little bit. And then my mom called back, and I was like, Mom, I think my water broke. I explained to her what was happening, and she was like, yeah, Melissa, your water definitely broke. Call the hospital, let them know that you're on your way. And I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't even finished packing yet, and you're not here. And I was freaking out because my mom was supposed to be here for the delivery and to help us out for that first month. So she ended up calling the airport trying to get here on time. Thankfully, she was on time, y'all, by like an hour. But after that, I went ahead and waited I waited another half an hour because my husband was home for lunch that week. Like, every day so far for that week, he was home for lunch. So I was like, oh, he'll be home in like half an hour. It's fine. It won't do anything. I won't progress that fast, so I was totally fine. Well, then 11 o'clock came by, and my husband was still not home. That week, he was getting home around like 10:30, 11 o'clock. That was like an early lunch for him since everybody else was doing other things, so not a bunch of people were here this week. So 11 o'clock rolled by, still not home, and I was like, okay, well, I've been in labor for almost like 45 minutes now, and I just want to make sure everything's like okay. And now I'm having contractions, and I want to make sure baby's okay. So then I called up my husband, and I'm like, hey, like, are you coming home soon for lunch? And he's like, in like 30 minutes. Why? And I was like, I think my water just broke. And he's like, okay, I'll be home right now. So he ended up coming back right away, and of course, freaking out. He like walks right through the carport door and goes, what do you need? What do you need packed? Let's load up the car, we gotta go. And I was like, chill, dude, chill. Like, I still have to finish packing. I have to get a couple more items. Like, we got time, but like, we gotta start moving a little bit faster to get going. And during this whole time, like, my water is still leaking, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's still coming out. It's still coming out. I didn't know what to expect, so I was like, freaking out a little bit, but not that much compared to him. And then we ended up getting to the hospital around 11:30, 12 o'clock by then. And they confirmed that my water broke, and then they went ahead and admitted me into a room. And y'all, this labor went by so fast. So my water broke around 10:30. Baby boy was here at 10:32 p.m. Crazy. I did not expect that to happen, because most people are like, oh, you're in labor for hours and it can take a while. And I'm like, okay, like, I got time. And they're like, okay, you're on an 8. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, craziness. But labor and delivery went really well. I got an epidural at around 4 centimeters. I was like, I need it. I don't do good with pain. I need that medication. So labor and delivery went really well. My mom made it in time, thankfully. Whew. I don't know what I would have done without her. I was freaking out. And at one point too, they kept scaring me because his heart rate kept dropping. So they had to keep like flipping me and turning me, and then there was like 8 nurses in my room, and they kept flipping me, trying to figure out like what is happening, why is his heart rate keep dropping, and they weren't like too worried about it, but at the same time they were a little bit worried about it. And like, I'm freaking out because I'm like, is my baby okay? And my husband is trying to keep me calm, but yeah, he's freaking out too at the same time. But thankfully, baby boy is all okay. He's here. He's happy, healthy, thriving. So thankfully, we're all good. But he was born September 21st at 10:32 p.m., weighed exactly 6 pounds and 19.9 inches long. So we're super happy, super blessed, super thankful that baby boy is here, that he joined our little family now. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet already. And I'll see you guys real soon.